What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. A bunch of stuff to go over today, including Epic heavily protecting Fortnite. Again, they are going after cheaters who are part of YouTube, and they have very large subscriber counts, but they're not messing around. Epic is suing them, and they're looking to really shut this whole thing down. They're looking to send a message. We're going to go over that. And then Switch hackers have added another feature that is very interesting. It definitely shows us what the Switch is capable of, and it shows us, I guess, what Nintendo could consider adding down the road officially. Of course, you have to hack your Switch to do that kind of stuff that I'm not going to do or really into, but it's interesting to look at what the Switch could get later on from Nintendo officially. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, if you like getting the news every weekday morning, make sure you guys hit the like button. It definitely helps out. Yesterday, it really helped out. And we are pushing towards 150,000 subscribers, so if you're new here, consider subscribing. We're looking to hopefully get there by the end of the month, so we'll see how this goes here. First, we'll start with some of the quick news, and we're going to start right away with Pokemon Go, because they are adding another region to Pokemon Go. More Pokemon are showing up from the Sinnoh region, and yes, that is from Diamond and Pearl, which means, of course, you can expect to see Pokemon like Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. Actually, I fell out of it before then, so I don't really recognize the Pokemon beyond the starting three. But if you're a big Pokemon fan, especially into Pokemon Go, it's always cool when these new Pokemon show up because, of course, they did say they're going to start hatching out of eggs and everything, so you don't really know what's going to pop up around you. And this, like I said before, is how you keep the game going. You keep adding content. They're very fortunate that they have Pokemon that they could add to, although they also even created a whole new Pokemon and dropped it in out of nowhere, so that was neat too. But yeah, Pokemon Go, it still grosses quite a bit of money, so the support makes sense. Now, what's interesting here is people thought it was going to be showing up in the next couple days, but it seems like they're already showing up around some areas like now. So if you haven't played Pokemon Go in a while, but you like the Diamond and Pearl, I guess, region, you might want to jump back in and see what's around you. Also, Starlink came out yesterday. I've been actually playing quite a bit of it. I'll show you some gameplay here. And there are some things I definitely like about it. I actually think this is a more interesting, a more fun No Man's Sky type game, and of course Fox is in it from Star Fox, so yeah, I'm playing that version of the game because I don't know why you'd play the others, although I'll go over it in the review. Some of the visuals are a bit rough on the Switch, but the game's actually pretty fun. I'm having a good time with it, and I'll do a whole impressions and everything video around it after I'm finished the game, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. But interestingly enough, people were getting physical copies. I got the starter pack that came with the R-Wing and Fox and everything to get you started. But people are noticing they're missing the game in some cases. Some of these are getting shipped out, arriving at homes without the game. Some people are reporting that they had the seal was cut open and almost like the game was taken out of it, because when you get the starter pack, it does come with a physical copy of the game, not like a download code, but it's not in there. Specifically, the retailer that people are pointing out appears to be Best Buy. I haven't really seen anything about Amazon or anything. Best Buy just seems to keep being the one that keeps being brought up. So if you order from Best Buy, you're going to want to double check that order beforehand, or maybe just go and pick it up at the store, like do the pickup option and just drive by and do that, or go to, like, I guess, GameStop or Walmart or something. I would actually buy this after I'm hearing these reports physically in person, just to make sure you can check it, to make sure it's all sealed up and everything. Otherwise, though, you'll have to call Best Buy or whatever retailer got it to you just so you can get that replaced, as that's what people are doing, and they're doing that with success. It's getting replaced. And I want to show you another project from K's Emanuar, who is just doing some amazing stuff with Super Mario 64. We've talked about this creator before, where they showed the portal gun in Mario 64, which was awesome. But check this out. They've actually taken Mario 64 and put it into Super Mario Bros., the first one on the NES. They put it into that setting, and it looks so cool. This, of course, is a ROM hack of Super Mario 64, and I guess if they release it, it'll be like that, where you patch a ROM file. But this is just so neat to see it. It's a very odd thing to see, too, because it kind of puts a different spin, a different perspective on the first Mario Bros. Game from the NES. Kind of neat to see, though, and they do say it's a work in progress currently, so I wouldn't judge it too heavily on what it looks like now. It'll probably get smoothed out a bit, but they are pushing the boundaries heavily over on their channel. So I would check it out. I'll leave a link to this video down below, and I encourage everyone to go check it out, because it's just super creative stuff around a game that, obviously, from the Nintendo 64, we've all played several times. they're just coming up with different ways to play this game on their channel, and I would go check it out. All right, guys, some of the quick news out of the way. Let's jump into some of the bigger stuff, starting with SpiderMan, which is one of my favorite games of the year, and based on a lot of people's opinions online and feedback, it looks like everyone really enjoyed this game or is still enjoying this game. It's a pretty large game. It does suffer some open world issues where there's some repetitive nature, but web swinging through New York is just a blast. And one of the things I had talked about, and then Insomniac had talked about on Twitter, was the possibility of a New Game Plus. We saw it added to God of War earlier this year, I think like last month, or August. It got added in August, so that has New Game Plus. And I was curious about SpiderMan. They mentioned it, and yeah, it looks like it is coming in update 1.07. They mentioned this online, and while we originally thought it was going to be coming today, they deleted that pretty quickly and said it was a mistake. It's just currently coming soon. Now, what is New Game Plus? Well, it's exactly what it sounds. It's what it's always been. It allows you to play back through the story and all activities in the open world, again, with all of your unlock suits, skills, gadgets, mods, and according to them, benchmarks from the beginning. And while playing New Game Plus, you'll be able to unlock, as they say, all the final items that you're doing while cleaning up your trophy list, but they're adding trophies. So 2 new trophies for all of those who thought they had 100% of the game. Nope, you're going to have to go back and get these trophies if you want to do that. And you're going to get one for completing the game on ultimate difficulty. So they are adding a difficulty trophy. And the other one is for finishing the New Game Plus run, so playing back through it. So if you go back for New Game Plus, you might as well set it to ultimate difficulty and get both trophies by playing back through it, where you're, I guess, as strong as possible going through that with all of your upgrades and abilities and everything. And that's really cool. I like seeing these free updates because, yes, it is a free update, 1.07. We don't know when. We thought it was going to be today. It's just coming soon, according to them. But this is really neat. I'm really interested in this, and I'll keep you guys up to date on when we get a time frame, or maybe they'll do a shadow drop where they're like, oh, it's available today. I'll let you guys know. Next up, let's talk about this interesting Switch feature that hackers have added to the system. Now, we already know about the Switch. It's been hacked, you know, like crazy. It's pretty easy to do. It was a bad exploit that Nintendo and Nvidia had left in the system. It seems to have been pretty much rectified, though, since then, where newer Switches don't really have that same ability. So it seems like they've kind of ironed that out, but it also seems that like 18 million or so Switches from the first year or so are capable of being hacked fairly easily. But it's something that I don't even really get into, so a lot of people don't really get into it, but it is interesting to see emulators and ROMs and all kinds of stuff being played, and features. And that's the very interesting thing, because we saw theme support and stuff like that, able to customize your backdrop. We've seen local backups for Switch users who have hacked their system, and now we're seeing another means to add external storage, because yes, you can plug in an external hard drive now to the Switch and you will get that space. So if you have a terabyte hard drive laying around, you can plug it in. You can plug in a 4 terabyte, I guess. And that's gonna obviously aid, I think, people who have hacked their Switch and are running homebrew and all kinds of stuff, more so than it would help the official users, people who have official firmware and are playing normally. But still, there is that thought process of games that are coming out that require downloads, even with physical copies. Starlink, I had to download, I think it was like 6 gigabytes. So there you go. Its space does fill up pretty quickly on the Switch. If you're all digital, you probably know what I'm talking about. You've maybe upgraded your SD card at least once already. I started with a 128, moved up to a 400 gigabyte. They're getting a bit cheaper though, but I do see the interest in being able to plug in an external hard drive when it's docked. You can also apparently do it when it's in portable mode, but you need an adapter for the bottom, and technically you wouldn't be able to run that and charge at the same time. I feel like it would be cool to have as like a docked option, and when you want to leave, you can move like game files back and forth, or have it installed on both. Although I guess that really doesn't make a lot of sense for people who are moving around a lot with it, but just the option for people who never take their Switch out of their dock, because there are a lot of people I know that actually don't even take it out of their dock at all. So for those people, that's a cheap way to add storage, where you can get a 2 terabyte drive for less than $100 now some places, and plug it in and be done with it. But we're still waiting for local backups, which people who have hacked Switch have had for a while now. It's something they've been using for a bit. This is something that might be lower priority, but it would be another nice quality of life feature. But I have seen people who don't really care, and that's fine because it's a portable system. But let me know what you think about all of these improvements and enhancements being made for hacked Switch systems, whereas Nintendo's not really putting any of these quality of life features or just benefits on official firmware. It is kind of frustrating, I will say that, because we see that the Switch is capable, obviously, but it's not being updated on our Switch. Next up, let's talk about what appears to be the ultimate Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, depending on where you are, system. And that, as you're seeing right here with a picture, is the Analog Mega SG. And this is awesome. Now, they have done a few others in the past, the NT Mini and the Super NT, which was basically the NES and the Super Nintendo. And what's very interesting about these systems is they do them through hardware using an FPGA chip. And it's not the exact chip that's used in the old systems, I guess the classic systems that you would buy at like a retro swap meet or flea market anymore, but it's very, very close, and it's not using emulation as we're used to with other systems that come out, clone consoles, but that also comes with a price for these systems, as usually they're about, in this case for this one, $190. Pre-orders are actually up now, so you can go pre-order, and they'll start shipping March of 2019. But what's really cool about this, according to them, it's gonna work with all types of different cartridges and the Sega CD. So apparently the Sega CD is going to be fully compatible with this. It's going to run through HDMI, and it's going to look really nice on your screen. And apparently it's not going to have any input lag because there's no emulation. So that's really neat. And this, right away seeing this, is exactly what Genesis fans have wanted, and they are stepping up to the plate here with this. And this is really exciting. Now, Genesis fans have been desperate for something like this, especially after seeing the NT Mini and the Super NT, where they were received pretty well. Some minor issues here and there, but pretty much everyone who picked one up has liked it so far. So this is awesome to see, and I'm going to keep an eye on this to see how this kind of moves along. And if pre-orders go up, I might actually try to pick one up, and maybe we could take it apart here and have some fun with it. It definitely looks really neat. And if I know some people will say the price is high, but from the other two systems that they've released, the quality appears to be there. And of course, they are putting this towards enthusiasts who want that experience on a modern TV with much, much lower input lag than what we've seen, sometimes zero apparently, with what we've seen with clone consoles. So we'll keep an eye on this. Pretty awesome though. I know there's some retro fans who were really excited at that announcement yesterday. In our last bit of news, let's talk about Epic suing Fortnite cheaters on YouTube, specifically larger YouTube content creators who are pulling in a very large audience and then talking about cheats that they are selling. Apparently they call them magical powers, but they're essentially selling cheats to people who want to get good at the game, I guess, without actually doing it I guess without cheating. So aimbot seems to be the biggest one, where of course you're in Fortnite, aimbot will just aim straight at the other person's head for you without any issues, and they show it off frequently in their videos. Epic is not happy about this, so they are pushing a lawsuit and they are suing them. They're looking to get all profit from that and then any damages that they have I guess assumed, and then any court legal fees. So they are pushing heavily. The biggest thing that it looks like Epic wants to do here is send a message to all people that you cannot make money by selling cheats on Fortnite. Now, the person on YouTube who seems to be the target of this lawsuit right now is unnamed Golden Mods. Their actual name is Brandon Lucas. And Epic is basically saying you are messing with the code in the game or altering it in some way to impact people's experiences, which in turn could impact Epic's bottom line, essentially. You know, the money they bring in. If people go into Fortnite and there are cheaters basically destroying everyone in the room, they're not really having fun anymore, and that's Epic's prerogative to then go out there and shut these people down, and that's what it looks like they're doing. So I can't really, I mean, it's Epic's, really it's what they should be doing. They should be protecting the game. No one really likes cheaters in a game, right? Because it can hurt your experience if you're trying to play the game straight up and not cheat. So trust me, cheater's been around for a long time, but Fortnite makes too much money to just let that go, and Epic, they're looking to send a full-on message to anyone that's out there. That's the whole point of this. That's why they're going after someone who's so high profile here. And they're going to win. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. They're going to win. They're going to sue this person like crazy. And then anyone else who decides to say, oh, maybe we'll sell an aimbot, they'll remember about this person who got sued like crazy and be like, maybe we won't sell that aimbot to a bunch of people on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about, whether it's Epic suing Fortnite cheaters. What do you think about that? People who are selling Fortnite cheats, then getting sued. Do you think it's, I mean, I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, it's fine, it makes sense, but let me know what you think about that whole situation. What about Switch hackers adding USB hard drive support? Maybe you don't really care because your Switch is always in handheld mode anyway, but maybe you do because it's always docked and you're like, oh, that'd be an easier way to add a terabyte of space or 2 terabytes of space and never have to worry about it again. Let me know what you think about all of that, guys, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.